Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. We are off to Zurich for today's daily challenge. We will begin with 4 tunnels, and that's all we get. And then if we should find ourselves inclined to take traffic lights, we'll get double, which means we're going to take traffic lights, like, once. Maybe. Probably. We'll probably take traffic lights once. But we're not taking traffic lights twice. Come on now. Are we really going to need 5 traffic lights? I don't think that's a thing we ever need. There are weeks that go by here on Good Morning Mini Motorways where we don't take 5 traffic lights. Lacey is bored and... Lacey is bored and is here, is the joke I was trying to make. Good morning, Lacey. Hope you're doing well. Let's run this red along this way. No need to burn a tunnel going that way. We only get the 4 of them after all. Would it have been better to come this way? I think having this, this traffic-y corridor open and available is good for instances such as this. Look at that, me being proved right immediately. Lacey got ads, so I said hi and good morning, and that is what we are doing. We are here. It is Good Morning Mini Motorways. We have taken a bridge. Oh, God. Oh, my eyes. Oh, before the episode started today, Lacey and I were chatting in the Twitch chat, which is a thing you can do, about Hades 2. Which is and remains a good and fun video game, although it is sometimes too much. Like, sometimes it feels as though they put 2.2 versions of Hades in Hades 2, and, I understand that they were going for things. I feel as though there were 3 too many currencies in Hades 2. And as I recall, the last time I played Hades 2, they reintroduced an old currency, so... Your highest fear is 26, which is absurd. I think mine is 2. I think one time I beat Kronos with a fear of 2. So, you don't have to tell me this. In fact, don't tell me this. I assume that the things the game are setting up to be more statues of Skelly are just more statues of Skelly. And that's the humor joke. Let's see here. We'll take... do I want to take a 3rd bridge? Yeah, I'll take a 3rd bridge. Although I'm not going to use a bridge right this very moment. We'll just run this blue road down here. You only have the one house going to this business, though, so this might be an issue problem. We might need to run blues down here at some point. We'll see. This business will be fine. No, it's fine. I'll get there eventually. The first one, you unlock the first one at like 8 fear or something, right? We'll do that eventually, maybe, possibly. There have been stranger things that have happened in our lives, such as the success of the television program Stranger Things. Does it count as a television program if it's on Netflix and it only releases once every 6 years? I guess. There's like episodes. What else would you call it? A movie? It's not a movie. There's gonna be a movie. Can we just bank all of our money right now on the fact that there's going to be a Stranger Things movie that releases in like 2030 and is not actually good? I want to bet just every piece of money I have to my name on the fact that by 2035 there will be a Stranger Things movie and it will not be any good. But, you know. Alright, let's take a motorway. At some point, we should probably at least consider separating these 2 reds here. The issue, of course, is that the larger red base is down this way. So if we just eliminate this connector road, there would be, like, 3 houses serving a circle, which is a little odd and weird and bad and such. But, you know, it'll be fine. Maybe. Possibly. I've seen, again, Stranger Things. I have seen Stranger Things. I think I watched the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things. And then I just kind of stopped watching regular weekly episodic television that wasn't professional wrestling because my brain is broken in that particular manner. So, Well, in the meantime, I realize we can make this road here a little bit more efficient. So let's go ahead and do that. Just better delivery services going on that way. Another blue house here serves as additional support for this business. It was probably spawned in reaction to the existence of this one, but, you know, we have blues for that. Render unto me another bridge. Thank you very much. Ooh. Okay, this Bastionist here is a problem. Who is my favorite god in Hades? Now, that is a question to which I do not presently know the answer. I mean, mechanically, particularly Hades 2 gods, it's Zeus. Like, Zeus is the reason I'm able to beat Hades 2, so, or at least, you know, kill Kronos in the... I haven't actually done the ultimately defeat Kronos and win the fight against evil or whatever. But yeah, mechanically, it's gotta be Zeus, because Zeus gives, I forgot the name of the thing that makes your minimum instance of damage be 50 damage, but that's fucking amazing. That's like, good climate or something. Fair climate, that one. Alright, first of all, let's take a moment to step away from this Gods of Hades question, and instead, talk about air quality. That one. That's good. I need that in order to win at things. What are we going to do about this Bastionist here? I guess we can run these up here, down through here, and I think we'll just burn a motorway. Yeah, I think the thing to do here is to just motorway number 1, these reds over to here. We're a little bit likelier to get motorways than usual because we won't be given any tunnels today. So that should be generally fine. Ow. Shoulder pain. I reached for a thing and my shoulder was like, nope, don't do that. Let's see here. I like Hephaestus. He seems cool. His boons are nice. Lacey is bored, also likes Hephaestus. Anything that makes big kabooms is nice and pleasant and enjoyable. Speaking of big kabooms, we do enjoy Aphrodite for reasons, some of which are mechanical, some of which are mechanical. Aphrodite is a very good, mechanically useful boon-giving entity. Hermes, on that regard. I'll tell you who's had a big glow-up. A big glow-up in terms of my respect for them as a mechanical boon giver and such from Hades to Hades 2 is Demeter. Like, Hades 1 Demeter, maybe it was just that I met her late and I already kind of had a strategy, but Hades 2 Demeter is the boss. And Hades 1 Demeter was like, yeah, okay, it's Demeter. We can make some stuff work there. And listen, you can win runs with Demeter. People who are good at video games can win runs with, like, any boons. But I am not a person who is actually good at video games, which is weird given how much I play them. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. I am currently in the throes of a very particular first world problem, which is that I bought myself a bunch of Magic the Gathering cards, but I did not spring for the accelerated shipping times. So I have to wait like 2 more days before any of them start coming in, and then I have to wait like 2 more weeks for all of them to be in order for me to build the decks I want to build with them. It's very sad. This is the worst problem that is plaguing... Honestly, yes, it's the worst problem plaguing humanity right now, that I have to wait a couple of weeks in order to build my silly Magic the Gathering decks, which I'm not even going to discuss directly because I want them to be a complete surprise to the people against whom I play those decks. Possibly because they're going to hate them. Like, they might be very mad at me for these decks, so I might only get to play them once. I think it's going to be fun, but we'll see. Hades 1 Demeter is one of Lacey's board's favorites. You loved using the Karen bow and just getting all 10 stacks of Frost in one shot. That did seem nice. Frost is a good power. Frost is a good ability. You don't know Magic the Gathering. There are different variations nerd and geek and that sort of thing. You are not the magic type, and that is fine. For a while there, I was not the magic type, and then one of my friends who was the D&D type was like, hey, I bet you'd like magic, and hey, turned out he was right. He was right in the sense that I very much enjoy the mechanics of Magic the Gathering. I like the card game. I think it is fun and well designed, and it is good to play at a certain level with friends. Anytime, and much like many other subcultures, anytime I get close to the seriously competitive, hardcore, professional Magic the Gathering scene, my entire body begins to vibrate with how much it is not for me. Like, pro-level, competitive Magic the Gathering is not for me. Intense, hardcore discussions of the lore of Magic the Gathering is not for me. I understand that there are people for whom the lore of Magic the Gathering matters. Mazel tov to you. Go with God, my friends. It is not for me. Lacey enjoys Dungeons & Dragons, has only ever played one session, and that party was horrendous to play with. Well, that is bad D&D. The thing that makes a good Dungeons & Dragons game, and there are people who don't want to hear or listen to or admit or internalize this, the thing that makes a good D&D game above anything else is a good party of players and a dungeon master who all agree on the question of what are we going for here. Because, like, if you've got a bunch of, we want to be, rando murder kill hobos, and a DM who wants to tell a serious, heart-wrenching story, you're going to have a bad time. If you've got a bunch of players who are like, we wish to be the highest grand adventuring company in all the 7 realms, and the DM is like, hey guys, what if you fought goblins, but they were girls? So we called them Girlblins. You're going to have a bad time. You're going to have a real bad time. Sometimes, if you're very lucky, the people who wish to be the highest grand adventuring party in all the land run into a DM who wishes to tell a sweeping epic narrative story, and they have an amazing time. And sometimes the people who wish to be silly murder hobos run into the DM who wishes them to fight girlblins. And I don't care what kind of time they have, as long as they have it over there, far from me. So that's nice. Now, we've got a developing situation, by which I mean this double plaza is ka-fuck-boinked. So let's work on that. I think what I can do is, let's grab this and this. We're going to run these blues here. These blues up here are going to have the responsibility of this business. That, in turn, will free up these blues here to loop around in this manner, and the 5 of these will swing down here. That, then, if you follow me, will allow these yellows to jump in this way, and now there are 3 yellows serving this yellow. So that's nice. Under very specific circumstances, Lacey's board notes, you can combine the 2 major flavors of Dungeons & Dragons to have a random kobold named Cheese Stick, who you've been carrying along as kind of a mascot for the past 6 months, be killed off by the big bad evil guy, and have that be surprisingly emotional. That is true. That is true. If you do that right, there's a TikTok. I can't remember the name of it, but the name of it. I've seen a TikTok to that effect of a one-note comedy character who just kind of sticks around and earns gravitas simply by existing. Those can be done very well. What are we going to do about this double plaza here? Well, first thing we're going to do is extricate this red road from the path here. Second thing we're going to do is generally hope that this turns into a beigeness, because these beiges right here can just over to there. Third thing we're going to do is try to find some dark blues that aren't presently doing anything. And that, seems tricky. What about... I mean, I've got you two. There's only a square for now. We can do that. A suggestion for people who make videos and such on the internet is to not try to scarf down your last bite of breakfast in the middle of your morning show. Because it turns out that that bite of breakfast is too big, and you will be stuck having to decide between chewing it for 30 seconds or just not doing anything. All right. So we've got these three houses over here serving this beigeness, and this beigeness is dying. So let's draw motorway number 3 up this way, supplement that with an additional 4 houses. Lacey has made so many characters that sit in D&D Beyond because you need to find a group to actually play with. That is difficult. It is difficult. I have a group that kind of, sort of, maybe exists right now, and we've played, I think we played 3 sessions, maybe just 2. And then my character died, and I rolled up a new one, and I'm ready to bust him out at the next time that group meets, and it has been going on 4 months now. So that group might not actually exist anymore. I should check in with that group and see if that group exists. If it doesn't exist, I should engineer a life for myself wherein I have the free time to play D&D, because I would like to play D&D, but I would also like not to give away all of the other things I do in my free time, so I would need to engineer some. Anyway. Alright, let's see here. We've got this green business over here, which very much needs attention. I don't know the best way to get it some, though. You know what we could do? Just as an experiment here. These blues currently have cars and driveways, like this is spare special bonus road. What if we just do something like that? And if we do something like that, then these 2 blues can service this business. And that in turn will free up motorway number 2 for this green and also... Hold on. There must be a way... Well, you can connect it to there, and that's about as good as we can hope for. See, because motorways can't go over mountains. You understand. You want to use your Kobold Artificer so badly. Granted, it's not in D&D Beyond because D&D Beyond is dumb.
Let the record show that this viewer was here first.
Lacey's board was here first. Good morning, Lacey. Thank you for being here. I was going to say thank you for being bored, but that seems rude. But thank you for being here at the very least. Let's see here. We've got... Hold on. We've got developing situations aplenty. First of all, this yellow business is extant, which is a problem. But I think I know how we're going to solve that one. We're going to solve that one by reversing the direction of these yellows here, I think. What if you come down this way, right here, can we get you onto you in a way that makes sense? No, we really can't. All right, well, this is going to be fine. Have fun. You go down that way, you go down here. Peter S. is here. Good morning, Peter. Now, we also, by pulling these yellows over to here, we've pulled yellows away from here, which means we can grab these 4 yellows from right here, which had previously been doing nothing, and now they shall serve this business. Next, we'll take all of these beiges from right here, which I had previously dreamed and wish-casted on using. And we'll do something like this. Motorway number 1 is... yeah, I could reclaim motorway number 1, couldn't I? That's probably a good idea. All right, well, let's have us a think on that in a moment. But first, I think we're going to draw a somewhat stupid road just so that these beiges can serve up here and we don't like have to marry these roads at any point. This will be fine. This is enough houses. Now, Peter S. has correctly noted that motorway number 1 is salvageable because what we can do is tighten this yellow up against the road here, up against the wall rather, and draw this little doowidgy, which means we can just kill motorway number 1, which is lovely. Do I need a 5th red house for that? I don't necessarily think we need a 5th red house for that, especially because this down here is a circle. Thank you for being here. Lacey is bored. Go be bored elsewhere. Or perhaps one day you shall simply be entertained. One can hope. All right. These greens go down here. I'll toss another green up that away to ultimately serve this business. These greens right here are just kind of on this road, and there's not much I can do about that. So, it'll be fine. These dark blue houses are pulling exactly as much weight as they can and no more. So, I don't necessarily love this, honestly, but it'll exist. We'll take another bridge in lieu of a 5th through 8th traffic light. Why would anyone ever take a 5th through 8th traffic light? It's a good question to which I do not know the answer. You know what? I do have a spare motorway. Hold on. Now that I've reclaimed motorway number 1, I'm trying to think of ways that I can be more judicious? I guess that's the word for which I'm looking. Yeah, okay. Let's be more judicious with the placement of our blues. This goes here. That goes here. So we've got an additional blue house for this business and this business, both of which are good. They needed additional houses. However, we have now overfucked this business. So, let's undo that. We're going to take these 5 blues right here, and those 5 blues will jump on the newly freed up motorway number 1 and swing down into this business. That'll basically be just fine and A-okay. I'm also going to turn this house over here, point toward this business, just because, well, I mean, this is 7 houses serving this circle. I think it'll be fine. I think we can spare one. If I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong about that. But I think we can spare one. That'll be fine. This red here will point that away, go down south, serve this guy. That's okay. I do have a clump of 4 reds right there, not really doing nothing. I've got 3 spare bridges, so render unto me a roundabout. Thank you. Okay. But yes, getting back to a point I was halfway through making. Anytime I get into, or I even brush up against your ultra high level, super competitive theory crafting in things like Magic the Gathering, it's just like, oh god, oh no, I'm in too deep. There are people here who like know terms for things and understand the meaning of phrases such as Simic and Boros. And okay, I think I know what Simic and Boros mean. They're both refer to 2 color combinations, and Simic is green, blue, and Boros is red, white. I think that sounds right. But then there's also shit like Orzhov, which is white and black. but there are also references to the three color combinations. Those have names, and there are people who just know all. There are 5 colors, which means there are some level of math number of combinations of potential colors, and then there are people who know all of the names for all of the combinations of all of the colors. That's obscene. That's ridiculous to me. That strikes me as too much. Let's take Motorway. I know, like, and there are combinations of 4 colors. I know one name because it's funny, because I happen to run a deck that runs the Your Tiller combination, which is just every color except red. I think it's, every color except red. I have a commander deck that runs every color except red. Also, for the people who really know Magic the Gathering, think of a commander that is every color except red. Yup, I'm running that one. I don't run it optimally because apparently... Here's another thing that I do. There's this website for people to help build their Magic the Gathering decks called EDH Rec. That basically just says, hey, here are some commanders that people use, and they like decks. They make decks with these cards. Try it. It's fun. A thing that I do, because I'm silly and unoriginal, is I go to this website and I look at what the most popular commanders are for the idea I have. Like, I'm like, I want to build a deck that puts a lot of +1/+1 counters on things. That sounds like fun. So I go to EDH Rec and it tells me, hey, the most popular decks for this are this guy. And I'm like, hey, that guy does seem good. And then, like, there are people who build top-level competitive decks with that card. I don't do that because I'm, 1, not willing to invest multiple hundreds of dollars in a single Magic the Gathering deck, and 2, I'm not good or smart at card games. So what I do is I take the gimmick and I find some shit that kind of works with the gimmick, and I build like a fair to middling deck that every once in a while just kind of explodes in a way that makes me feel like a jerk. Like, every once in a while, that particular deck just goes off and wins the game on turn 4, and it's like, oh, I feel bad about that. Should I not play that? Here, let me put that away. I'm just going to put that away. I've had my fun with that. Let me get my more ridiculous and silly Enter the Battlefield Trigger ally deck. That's good and fun and not going to kill anyone, right? Right? And, you know, it's good and fun, and sometimes my ally deck goes off and I get to, like, 700 life in a game. That's what my ally deck does. It gets me to 700 life, and then eventually I find a way to win. It doesn't actually usually work like that, but, you know, that's the idea. Speaking of the idea is that all of these houses just keep going to all of these businesses forever, but I don't think that's actually going to be the case here, friends. So, at this point, I'm just kind of tossing stuff at stuff to see if stuff can stuff stuff, and for the most part, to Stuff's credit, Stuff is able to stuff stuff, but... yeah, I think we're pretty much boned here, eventually. This business, I just robbed a dying business to pay another dying business, which, yeah, okay. 3,369 commuters over 105 days. That sure is a number. Feels like a good one, actually. It's top 10% in the world. We take those, but, oh, so close and yet so fail. Samurai Sam emerges victorious once more. Hey, did I build a Wordle window? I sure as hell did. With my very own hands and clicking fingers, I provided us with the Wordle. Hello, the Wordle. The Wordle today is Olive. Nope. The Wordle today is Shame. There we go. Perhaps? No. Alas. The Wordle today is Scoot. As in a mob of such. No? Okay. The Wordle today is... I don't know. CERN. The Wordle today is... That CERN is not a word. Okay. The Wordle today is... Sweet? No, there's no I and no T. The Wordle today is... Well, I think it's got to be SU, doesn't it? Because it's not going to be... I don't think there's anything that's going to end UE. But what words do I know that start SU? Uh-oh. All right, back out, back out. See, unfortunately... All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try bungee, just as an example of 4 letters I haven't used and 1 letter in a different position. Okay, so... Oh, it's surge. There we go. Got there eventually. That is a good example of why playing Wordle on hard mode is harder. Because if I was playing on hard, I couldn't have done that. All right. Let us guess where and when we are in time and place in history. If I was a person who knew who Alexis Kivi was, this would be very easy. But I'm not. So, let's see. So, at 9:41... the Kesakun will charge 22 Pivenricos in your toaster. Furthermore, if you want to add any wide surveillance, you have to check in with the Ahon Sopimusta. Huh. Right. So that seems like it might be but isn't German. And if it might be but isn't German, and it's got a whole bunch of umlauts, then it might be potentially Scandinavian. So I'm thinking, perhaps, we're somewhere Scandinavian. That would also jive with the Alexis. I don't think that's Russian. That's not Russian, is it? No. No, that's Scandinavian, or perhaps it could be Dutch, actually. Oh, it could be Dutch. I don't think that's Dutch. Does Dutch do a lot of the double U nonsense? Well, there's... You know what... Okay. So yeah, we got a bunch of white ladies and also white dudes who are singing. And... Huh. I don't suppose I can recognize any of these hats? No? Okay. Peter says it's not Dutch. He's thinking Finland, Estonia, or Latvia. Okay, well, let's see. That's Finland, and Estonia and Latvia are like here. So, yeah, could we be in Helsinki, Finland? Sure. This is Helsinki, Finland, 1946. Yeah, this feels post-war-y. 1946. It is Helsinki, Finland, 1951. Thank you, Peter S. Next. I don't remember. I think Finland is Scandinavian. Hold on. I remember this better when I'm looking at it. Okay, so here's my understanding of Scandinavia, right? You've got 4 countries up here. You've got Norway and Sweden and Iceland. No, wait. Norway and Sweden and Denmark and Finland. Right? And my understanding is that Norway, Sweden, and Denmark they call themselves Scandinavia, and Finland's like, hey guys, I want to be Scandinavian. And they're like, nah. Samurai Sam objects to my characterization of Scandinavian politics and has resubscribed for 56 months. Okay, so maybe it's that Norway, Sweden, and Finland are Scandinavia, and then Denmark's like, hey guys, can I be Scandinavian? And Scandinavia's like, no. That does make a fair bit of sense as well. Sam, thank you for resubscribing for 56 months. Let us now figure out where the hell we are in this weird child boxing gym. Hold on. I don't feel great about this weird child boxing gym, actually. But, okay, so what language is this? This could be Russian, actually. Are we in a Russian child fighting ring? I feel very bad about this, Time Guesser. I feel as though... Okay. All right. I don't recall if Peter S. is Dutch, but I don't think he is. So this is Bonyobsin Kai of the Tiger. It's the Fila the Fight. All right. Now I'm going to zoom in on a little boy's shorts, and I need to explain context here before I just go randomly zooming in on a little boy's shorts. I think this might be language, and I think this might be language, or that might be the Everlast logo, and I won't know until I zoom in on these little boy's shorts. God damn it! All right, this appears to be garbled nonsense. This appears to be the Everlast logo. Okay, this appears to be Control BAM logo. Okay. All right, fine. We are in a weird underground fighting ring in Moscow, I guess. In 2024? Like, how the hell are we supposed to pull a time out of this? Okay, brands that exist today exist in this photo, but also, like, Fila has been a thing for decades. Oh, God. Okay. Yep. We are in a weird underground fighting ring in Moscow, Russia in 2024. Get us away from these tiny murder children. Oh, we're in Ukraine, which maybe I could have noticed that this boy's shorts are the colors of the Ukrainian flag. Maybe this is Ukrainian? I don't know, man. 2025, right there. Next round. All right. I should probably note titles of episodes, even though they're going to be things like zoom in on the little boy's short. No, we're not naming an episode Little Boy's Shorts. That's not a thing. We're not doing that. We're just not. All right. What are we doing here? This is Konstantinides and Orphanos. So it feels Greek, just like if we're gonna just stereotype based on names and such, that has me leaning Greek. Let's see here. We've also got a lion and somebody Ferrant and Skodwi. And Skodwi sounds like something in Al Bhed, but. Could this be Monaco, actually? I don't know. This doesn't feel very Greeky, but, well, we've got the Kimetsu's, actually, yeah, it does kind of feel a little bit Greek. Oh, if I was a person who recognized flags. Oh, if only I was a person who recognized flags. But wait. If those, hold on. So we've got two of these banners here, and we basically have a lighter colored field, a white field, and then a darker colored field, right? What if this lighter color is red and this darker color is blue? That would make this essentially a very long, weird version of a French flag. And if that's a very long, weird version of a French flag, then this is totally Monaco. Now, that's a hell of a way to go. On the other hand, we've got more flags and pennantry going on here, which this might just be a lot of flags, actually. Because, like, there's that tree color thing, but there's a different colored thing, and this could be, like, Mexico because it's got the little bit of Fupi in there, and this is probably the United States on account of the field and the stars and the stripes and the whatnot. So we might just have a whole bunch of flags going on here. Oh, I don't feel good about this. There's like one dude here who realizes that a photograph is being taken, and the rest are just kind of milling. I don't suppose there's a license plate I can identify on this car. No? Okay. This appears to be a drive on the right place, but I could be wrong about that, and it could just be old-timey photo, so I think we know when this is. I don't see anyone playing Magic. Sam, we already made our Magic jokes today. Just wait, I'm going to bulldoze you with robots. It's an actual hint as to the mystery deck I'm building. It involves bulldozing people with robots. Okay, so we are in fuck it, Athens, Greece in 1930. I don't feel great about that, but, you know, it could be Monaco. It could be Morocco, which I always get confused with Monaco. Anyway, we are in Athens, Greece in 1930. Now I have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles song stuck in my head because we are in Athens, Greece in 1930. Athens, Greece in 1930. Tivoli in 1930. Okay, so we're way the hell down here. Okay, fine. All right. Next, we've got a fella on a street. His name is Andrew Cash. He's running for Davenport. Okay. And he's a member of the Canadian NDP. Cool. Is Davenport a city in Ontario then? I know of Davenport, Iowa, but you're not going to... The Canadian NDP is not going to care much about the local elections of Davenport, Iowa. You might, however, care about Toronto. So maybe Davenport is like a neighborhood in Toronto. That stands to reason. Okay. So your shirt says Dear Santa, which means it's Christmas time, which means this isn't this year. This is probably last year. So we're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 2025. This all stands to reason. I don't know who the fuck Andrew Cash is, but, you know, I don't really pay attention to Canadian civic politics. Does Mr. Muhammad here have a date on his ID tag? No? Okay. That's unfortunate. Maybe a year on your lanyard? Do you have a year on your lanyard? Do you have a lanyard? No? Oh, well. It was worth a shot. All right. Yeah, we're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 2025. Maybe even 2024. Just to figure even number election year type thing? That is worth a shot. All right, let's go to Toronto. If I happen to see a dot that says Davenport, I'll go to that, but I think we're just gonna slowly inch our way in until it's like, I give up. And wait for it. There's Etobicoke and North York and Midtown and Underwood and Markham and Vaughan and Purpleville. I'm sorry. Okay. New life goal just dropped. I wish one day to retire to Purpleville, Ontario, Canada. Oh, it is my great goal in life that shall never be met. Oh well. I haven't found Davenport and don't feel like looking anymore. We are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 2024. It was over that away in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in 2019. The more you know. All right. Friends, I have an idea as to where we are in this. This is San Francisco State College, and we're on a big hill, and there's a streetcar here. So naturally, we're in Wisconsin. No, we are in San Francisco, California. The question becomes when. We've got some SFPD. We've got an awful lot of SFPD traffic here. And is this like a motorcade type situation? Are y'all escorting the mayor? Y'all might be escorting the mayor. When was the Harvey Milk deal? The Harvey Milk deal was like the 70s, right? This feels as though... okay, so this is not a movie theater, so I don't feel as bad about not knowing. Like, if I was a person who knew contemporary modern American art, the name John Checkley might mean something to me, but it does not. All right. San Francisco State College, downtown. So yeah, we're in downtown San Francisco in 1977. And it seems reasonable. Got, muscle cars and Mustangs and suited dudes and the odd Volkswagen. And yeah, sure, fine. All right. Let us go to San Francisco and see if we can maybe find, we got Nob Hill and we've got Bush Street. Let's see here. See if any of these jump out as being... Oh, hey, there's Nob Hill. Okay. All right. Now, would one of these happen to want to be Bush Street? We've got Taylor and Mason and Joyce and Spruilin and Cushman and Pine and Jones and Sacramento and Kimball and Leavenworth and Jackson and Auburn and Mason and John and Pacific and Cordelia and Broadway and Pacific and Hyde, and I give up. We are in San Francisco, California in 1977. That was over that away. Oh, that is... Oh, Tricky Dick was in there. If I had recognized him, I would have gotten the score better. Oh, well. Final score, 41,025. It is a good score, not a great score. Drop once more those Samurai Slams in the chat. And for today's Immaculate Grid, we need Atlantans, Athletics, Tigers, Blue Jays, Diamondbacks, and dudes what had 40 or more wins above replacement in their career. Okay, then. And Atlantan, who had 40 or more wins above replacement in his career, is... I mean, there are lots of obvious ones. I could try to find a deep cut, but, man, fuck that. Larry Wayne Jones. Larry Wayne Jones is Atlantan who had 40 or more wars. Randy Johnson wasn't an Atlantan, was he? That doesn't strike me as correct. Kelly Johnson, on the other hand, absolutely was a Diamondback and an Atlantan. That is true. Bartolo Colon, yeah, he would have been an Atlantan. Well, hey, an Oakland A who had 40 or more wins above replacement in his career is Bartolo Colon. That's true, as a factual statement. Detroit Tiger who played for the Toronto Blue Jays is David Price. I was thinking about maybe David Price as a Tiger who had 40 or more wins above replacement. I don't know that he got to 40. 40's a biggish number. 40's like good. Like, David Price had a good career. David Price was a very, very, very good pitcher for a while there. I think there was a time where he had an argument for being the best pitcher in baseball. I might be wrong about that. But he was like a very good pitcher. He had a good long career. He made some money. He won some rings. He was good at baseball. 40.2. Okay, fine. Is that by Baseball Reference, though? He did win a Cy Young. Good for him. David Price had a good career. An Arizona Diamondback who was also a Detroit Tiger is Eduardo Rodriguez. You may remember Eduardo Rodriguez as a dude who used to play for the Boston Red Sox, and then he didn't because the Boston Red Sox don't care about winning as much as they care about saving money. He got a bunch of money and is now bad, but, details. Detroit Tiger who had 40 or more wins above replacement in his career is Gary Sheffield. Gary Sheffield is a Detroit Tiger who was excellent at baseball. Let's see here. An Arizona Diamondback who also played for the A's is, I'm pretty sure Jed Lowry was a Diamondback. I'm wrong about stuff. God damn it. God damned it. Felt good about Jed Lowry being a Diamondback. I was wrong. So sad. Too bad. An Oakland A who was also a Toronto Blue Jay and a tremendous giant prick-headed dick is Josh Donaldson. And a Toronto Blue Jay who was also an Atlanta Atlantan is a good question, actually. That is a good question, to which I do not know the answer. Was Shea Hillenbrand an A? No, I don't think he was. Sam sometimes forgets which athletes are dicks. The correct answer, particularly when you're talking about white American baseball players, is most of them. Like, you should go in with a base level assumption of this guy's probably a dick, and then be pleasantly surprised when they're not. It's not a great way to go through life generally, but it is a good way to avoid disappointment when learning the business practices and life hobbies of professional baseball players. Anyway, on Oakland A, who I think also might have played for the Arizona Diamondbacks, is Covelli Lois Crisp. God damn, I don't know any Diamondbacks except for the tall one and the Nazi. I do know the tall one and the Nazi, but they didn't fit the square. Tall one and the Nazi, title of the episode. That's going to go well for us. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say the tall one and the Nazi, so it goes over just fine. We intend to be back later this evening for Hades 2. We shall remember what it feels like to play Hades 2, hopefully, and then go punch people with blades or whatever. I don't know. Hades 2 later tonight. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.